Hi, today we are going to talk about the best Christmas pageant ever. We're going to be reading this story and focusing on character traits. So, what are character traits? Character traits are words that describe the character's personality or qualities that make them who they are. In other words, how you would describe that character to someone else. It's not what the character looks like, what their hair looks like, it's who they are, what their actions are, what their words are that describes their character trait. So, in order to help us get a better idea of what character traits are, we're going to look at a vocabulary. And I'm not going to start right at the beginning of the vocabulary. I'm going to sort of start it about a minute in. This is going to give us a really good idea of character traits. So pay attention to this character that they're focusing on for this story, and the things that she does and says, and then the character traits that they decide that she is based on those.
Character, if you want to know my traits, look at the text and analyze what I think, what I do, what I feel, what I say, the way I'm treated and described. I'm a character, and if you want to know my traits, look at the text and analyze what I think, what I do, what I feel, what I say, the way I'm treated and described.
Yo, I just read the book, it was fabulous. Here's how I do character analysis. I read a story about Greta, and she's sneaky, untrustworthy, dishonest. Believe me, how do I know this about Greta? It's easy. I use evidence from the text I'm reading, so I analyze. What does she do? Well, she once broke her sister's phone after school. Did she confess? Nah, she lied. She said it was already cracked when I came inside. What are her thoughts? Well, the author describes her mind and what's going on inside. It's not that she's full of hate, but she tries to control people and manipulate them. But take this quotation. Greta thought she could trick her friend Jason into doing her homework on vacation. How do others react to Greta? Well, when Jason knew he was being used, he stopped walking with Greta after school. Sue Payne got tricked by Greta too. Now she's hanging out with a new crew, to the new. Based on all this evidence, it's clear to me that Greta's untrustworthy and sneaky.
I'm a character, and if you want to know my traits, look at the text and analyze what I think, what I do, what I feel, what I say, the way I'm treated and described. I'm a character, and if you want to know my traits, look at the text and analyze what I think, what I do, what I feel, what I say, the way I'm treated and described.
Great. So there you have it. Character traits based on Greta, who they were talking about in that story. So how does this relate to us with our best Christmas pageant ever, which I have abbreviated BCPE? We've created character trait slides, which list all of the characters from our story, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. And I'm going to pull up here the actual slide that you would see. This is going to be shared in your Google Classroom. And you will notice that it has the character listed at the top here. It also has the character in tabs at the bottom. So there are a lot of characters in this story. We have Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Claude, and it keeps going on and on. Mom, Dad. You have to scroll to the right and to the left. So what you will be doing is, as you're reading this story, you're going to say, come across Ralph. And on page number 3, Ralph is saying or doing something, and you'll write that here and determine a character trait. I've done an example with Imogene. So with Imogene on page 59, Imogene says, and we know she's saying it because it's in quotations, I want to hear her. And I put in parentheses sort of what this was referencing. Imogene wants to hear Mother tell the Christmas story. The other kids in the room have already heard the story, but Imogene hasn't. She wants to hear it. This shows us that Imogene is curious. So as you're reading this story, if you hear and are reading about a character, you're going to come into your character trait spreadsheet and write the page number and your proof and determine a character trait. So how do you determine a character trait? Well, we have different character trait papers that you will be given access to that list different traits that you may use, better than just saying mean or sad. Make sure you use these character trait papers when you're deciding the character traits that you want to use.